So there's several that run in my family, and yeah, so it's always
same here.
It's always a worry, but
Fortunately, I have a wife who treats cancer, so if I ever get it, I know who I'm going to.
Yeah.
But
I know they won't hear this, but I hope that their family can find some peace there. That's really sad.
Yep. He inspired, I mean, I think those movies inspired a lot of people and stuff.
Oh, no doubt.
And was quite good. So I really liked the Black Panther movie. So it was, disappointing. So thoughts and prayers to his family.
Yeah,
let's try to get a little bit more cheerful. This is just sad.
Yeah, let's go. Let's talk about that other
thing. Hey boys, it's your favorite time of the day. The time where we all pop our tops off and relax.
Well,
dude, I am going
same as last week.
I'm going full Karen tonight.
Full Karen, in what way do you mean, sir?
I'm drinking Bud Light lemon lime seltzer tonight because
wow,
I'm a classy biatch.
Ballin'.
Well, you know,
absolute ballin'.
It's not every day that I drink seltzer, but when it's the only thing in my fridge on podcast night, it's going in my belly. So cheers to you.
No kidding.
And you might be wondering, why do you have Bud Light seltzer in your fridge? Well, because it's good and I like the taste. Like drinking a spiked Sprite.
I haven't had one of those. It sounded okay, but I did have I don't remember what it was, Bud Light something or another last weekend that was actually pretty good. It was the Chalada.
Did this just happen? It was the what?
The Chalada?
Chalada? Okay.
I want to say Chalada. Maybe that's not right. What the hell is it?
Michelada? I know that's
colada. I don't know.
If you like pina
it tastes
coladas,
like a Bloody Mary. It's like a Bud Light Bloody Mary.
Yeah, the Chalada or the Michelada. There's a few different types.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. It's pretty tasty.
Nice. I love Bloody Marys. They're so good.
So I have an internet issue going on. You're not going to believe that.
I heard it. You got you were stuck for a second, and I was like, not again.
I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm gonna have to plug in. My Roomba. So I didn't realize that the fiber cord coming into my house hangs down like behind our like entertainment center deal, and the Roomba got back there and was tangled up in the cord. I'm hoping that I didn't jack up my internet or unplug something. I'm kind of concerned at the moment.
The robots are revolting.
Yes, that's what they do.
Yeah, just don't let it turn on Skynet. So I don't have the sounder yet, so I'll just I don't even know where to go. We'll get the sounder going here and get into the next
We'll play the sounder. Let's do this.
Hey guys, what did you do in SWGOH this week?
All right. This week in SWGOH, man, did you do anything?
I got 2 ultimate ability mats, so there was that.
Hey, how many attempts did you have on that?
2.
Okay, well, that's good.
I still using the image that Kvothe sent me, and it hasn't steered me wrong once yet. So
yeah.
Once it does, you will hear me be irate about that on this podcast because I feel like the ticket system and then failing a mission and not being able to just do it again because you have the tickets would really piss me off, and I know that's pissed off other people. So if I'm mad next week, you'll know why. But let's see.
I failed that thing a lot.
Ugh.
The high health strategy is what got me through it. It did really,
I did.
really
I
well.
did. That is what I did before the first one, and then on top of that, doing the continually attacking Lifeblood to build up stacks until
Yep.
you can one shot one of the side guys and then go after Ray. That worked out well
Yep.
for me. So,
Yep.
I did that. Mon Mothma is a. This has been kind of a pain in the butt, trying to do this at the same time as get these ultimate ability mats because I'm on the step for Mon Mothma where she needs
The
2
100 of
Kairos.
each Kairos. Yeah.
And so I've been buying as much as I can the shock prods with my with my stuff. Galactic
All right,
Challenge and whatever. But
So I have a question. It sounds like you are gearing her up.
oh, I've always planned on gearing her up. I know where you're going to go, and we'll talk about that too. But like I said, my pet project after Galactic Legend, KyZer, is Rebel Fighters. So that is still my plan right now.
Okay.
But since the one I'm currently working on continues that plan and works towards another, if I decide that, then that's what I'm going to keep going with for now. But
I gotcha.
yeah, I got
Sounds
Mon
like
Mothma's
solid
gear
strategy.
9, and I'm sitting here waiting for the second Cairo to finish so I can get her to gear 10 and then just keep going from there. I'll hit it. I'll go up until the point where I can't go any further at 4 stars. So
Yeah.
let's see. Other than that, what did I do? Oh, I got 3PO. I started working on him too. I got him up to gear 8. I'm a stun gun from getting him to gear 9. I haven't put any other gear on him yet, but once I get that stun gun, I might drop it on him or I might not and just see if she needs a stun. Mon Mothma needs a stun gun on the next level. I meant to go look at SWGOH to find that out, which is also why I haven't thrown any of that gear 8 gear on him yet, but yeah. So pretty much those are the two I've been working on along with that ultimate stuff. The annoying ultimate stuff. And then, of course, doing GAC and Territory Wars, which went very well for us this week. So, pretty happy with that. Shout out, I can't remember the guild name. What was I'll just shout out one of their officers. But Sydney Crosby, it was fun fighting your guild in Territory War this week. So, thanks.
Was this from the YouTube
the YouTube?
comment? There was somebody on the YouTube that said we fought their guild. It may have been the same guy.
It wasn't him. It was probably one of his guild mates. He said that they were a lot of their guild watches the show. So
Okay, cool. Well,
shout out to them.
awesome. Yeah, Ryan Doherty on the YouTube. So I wasn't in that. I wasn't in that Territory War. I was on a Territory War hiatus. But I did join the second Territory War because I wanted to see how Imperial Troopers performed, given the recent changes.
What?
Awkward silence. Imperial Troopers.
Oh. Explain
You
yourself.
know what I figured out about Imperial Troopers?
They're great. You love them?
The change to turn order mechanics is absolutely drastic on the Imperial Troopers.
Just kind of like what we
Because-
were thinking was going to happen.
Way more so than I was expecting. Way more. Well, once they get a kill or two, you literally cannot gain enough turn meter to go in front of them. I mean, it's the Night Sister team never. I fought a really good Night Sister team, and they never took a turn. I mean, usually they get 1 or 2 turns squeezed in there, but nope. they freaking plowed. It was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I like turnover change. I am a fan. I like teams that that get benefits from turn meter gain, and obviously Imperial Troopers are one of those, and yeah, that's kind of awesome.
Nice. Well, that's good considering how much work you put into them just before this even happened. So
yeah,
it makes your good team even better. Not to mention,
yeah.
I thought you were alluding to the fact that there's another person that might help Imperial Troopers at this point.
No, I mean that we'll get to, but I mean Imperial Troopers as is are just gnarly. My Death Trooper is Relic 6, and he is literally unstoppable.
That just sounds nasty.
Yeah, well, I used a 4-man Imperial Trooper team in our GAC live stream just before this podcast, so make sure you go check that out if you want to. But I mean, Death Trooper, I mean, he deals. He hits for over 100k pretty easy. I mean, his Terminate special ability is just an absolute wrecking ball. It is so freaking awesome. I love it.
I still laugh about the damage that one GAC that your POW was doing. Not POW, Baston at Relic.
Oh, dude. Yes. I think that was the Z60 GA stream.
I'm pretty sure that was the one.
Yeah, man. Biston, he can deal too. It's crazy. I can't wait to see what he can do with Mon Mothma. I'm pretty excited about that team. It needs to get some more characters for that up. I gotta say, I kind of think that the Rebel Fighters are definitely going to be my next project too, but for a different reason than you. I really haven't done much this week other than Horde. I am
still waiting on that announcement.
Yeah, well, okay, so we have a problem with that announcement. I don't want to do it. I got gear to spin, man. We'll talk about it. I got gear to spin though. The announcements this week have just effed my plans, dude. So
I was talking about the announcent for a certain returning event because I thought that's what the hoarding was for.
That deal. I was talking about the wink goal in the Twitch to Gear 13 character. Ironically, one of the characters that was on that list was going to be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Well, then they can't be on the list now. Because Wampa was on no list.
Wampa?
Sorry, Gamguard. That guy.
Oh. What?
Still think
he's
it's
a favorite
Jerry.
of yours. He's a favorite. Jerry. That's all. So I am 43 out of 100 on The Mandalorian. I am 34 out of 100 on Cara Dune. And Grief Karga, I am 44 out of 100. Getting there.
Dang.
Next week.
All right.
I'll be close. I've got the gear ready for Mando. I'm taking Mando to Gear 13 immediately. I think I've pretty much decided I'm going for Jedi Master Luke, but come hell or high water, I am doing the Mandalorian because he's a beast.
Jeez. No doubt.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was, where that came from. So you just dropped the JMLS bomb there, so why don't we go into the next thing there? The update.
All right, let's do it.
Strong with us, this update is Young Padawans.
I mean, this was a legendary announcement of galactic proportions. I did not expect this at all. I kind of thought by the end of the year we would get 2 new Galactic Legends. I did not think that it would be this.
I thought it would be more along January leading into a March release. Not even March release, February release again. So maybe December announcement.
Too much money to be made.
Right,
really
but
thought
imagine
with
how
this-
much money, because this makes, okay, so this was a question I was going to save. So just before we go into this, we'll say this. They announced two Galactic Legends. My question was, we had all thought about a Mandalorian Legendary or Journey type release coming up. Does this put that in jeopardy, you think?
No,
Would you still work
absolutely
towards
not.
that?
This has nothing to do with it at all.
But they
If
would. They're both going to be
anything-
releasing
if
because the
any-
movies, the Mandalorian releases next month in the same time frame as these releasing, and the thought was
So-
that would release around the time season 2 came out.
Okay, so there are multiple problems with that theory. One, they never release characters immediately when something comes out. They may release one or two, but generally the primary characters from movie, TV show, whatever, generally comes after it's already been released. So I would expect towards the end of the season of The Mandalorian is when we would get maybe a legendary character. I think this absolutely does not put that in jeopardy whatsoever. I think we will still get that. I think Little Green Gizmo will absolutely be a legendary. He better be because he's cute. Hello. But the thing that I am more surprised about, I'm not super surprised about the Galactic Legend thing. It kind of makes sense. I'm kind of surprised the direction that they went though, because they went new trilogy. I was kind of expecting with them talking about Empire, maybe they were going something original trilogy.
Yeah, it sure seemed like everything was building towards a new or original trilogy GL release if that was next.
But in some way, I almost feel like that was kind of killed off by the release of Jedi Knight Luke. So I would have thought Jedi Knight Luke and Vader maybe would have been paired together as like a super team of something. But I do have to say, it is pretty cool that Vader, it seems like the Vader that we have in game is going to stay the Vader, like the Vader.
Mhm.
And that's actually, I love it if that is what their plan is going to be, because that iconic of a character actually being kind of farmable, fairly easy to get, and just being an absolute badass without having to gear 75 freaking characters, I think is awesome. I really hope they keep that. And if they do a Galactic Legend Darth Vader, it needs to be prequel Vader, like Order 66 Vader.
Well, Vader isn't not necessarily in-game, but he is close to in-game character. Because the only way to get him before Fleet, which Fleet unlocks at level 60, 65, the only way to get him before that is achievements, so no one's going to have him early game. But I
He's
know what
more
you're saying.
early game than a lot of, than Galactic Legends of any. I mean,
Oh, Galactic
so-
Legends for sure. Yeah. But there
He's
are
like
there
a-
are definitely legendaries you'll get before Vader.
Yeah, that's
Probably get
pro-
Thrawn
that's
way
probably
before
true.
Vader. Even Palpatine, because you
That's-
use the same team.
Probably true. Yep.
So once you do unlock that Vader, you got a fucking kick-ass team. There, I'm dropping
so what-
F-bombs again.
So what do you think about this? Sith Eternal Emperor
Well, first off, I
and-
think the name is stupid.
and Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. I assume you don't have a problem with Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. That
No,
should be
that
his
name makes sense.
And if he doesn't have the damn Jedi tag, I'll lose it. Swear to God.
It's like they were typing something, and there was a typo in Palpatine, and they went to go check it to fix it, and it deleted it instead, and then they forgot about it. Because it should really
So-
be Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine. That's
Yeah. Okay. Yep. I totally agree. 100%. Yeah. That's well put.
because why
Yeah.
you don't even have his name in there.
Sith Eternal Emperor.
I know we all think no,
Well,
he's the Emperor, but his name should be in there. Come on.
Is he really Palpatine though?
I mean, yeah.
If you get cloned, did you create Dan or did you create Dawn?
If I name him Dan, he's Dan.
That's if you name him that though.
well,
but
he
he
called,
might.
everybody
he
in the
would
movie
be-
called him Palpatine. Okay, I guess you're right. We never asked him what he wanted to be called. His clone might have been like, I have pushed away from that name. My new name is Larry. And I will go by that. So, Sith Emperor...
I agree.
Whatever. Sith Eternal Emperor Larry can work. I don't care. But call him Carlos. I don't care. But
I think
his name should be attached to it.
I think Eternal Emperor Palpatine would have been better. And then you could have just thrown the Sith in as a tag because it doesn't really need to be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sith Eternal
Especially
Emperor
if he's not listed as Sith.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these characters lately, you're like, what? Jedi Knight
right.
Luke?
So I do like that his initials are C.
See? I see why.
Like the word see? You see? See? Do you see what I'm talking about?
I see what you're saying.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. We'll talk about them again here shortly. Or do we want to just go ahead and talk about them now?
Let's finish the update, and then we can probably...
And then we'll dive in.
I think we should do
All
it
right.
last, because we got a lot of different topics to go along with that.
Okay,
And I wrote
so
down
we'll
the
finish
questions. I'm
running
about to
down
add
the
another one.
topics of the update. Admiral Piet marquee event, he got announced. He is a requirement for the Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine.
So just
What-
Sith Eternal Emperor.
No, Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine. Seep. I'm going to call him Seep.
Seep.
He is just seeping Galactic Legendness everywhere. We had double drops announced, which is kind of badass. It's nice that they are doing this. If you're not in our Discord, discord.me/shatteredorder, you absolutely should be, because you get really awesome announcements about the proper way to prepare for double drops on Cantina. Posted a post about this. I need to make a video about this because I feel like this comes up every time, and I don't like it's. I always have to make a post because I don't have a video about it, so I should just do a video about it. But anyway, Cantina double drops are actually done a little bit different than most other double drops in that you stock up 2 days before rather than the day prior, and you basically waste the natural energy of a full day because the slow regeneration rate on energy actually makes that more beneficial. You actually get a little bit more energy to spend on drops, so you actually get more rewards and you save 100 crystals. So if you did that, well done, because that means you're in our Discord. And if you didn't do it that way, shame on you, because, well, you're missing out on rewards and you're not in our Discord.
A lot of good things can come from that. Just saying.
Everything. It's amazing. So we have more other double drops coming. September 5th, we have fleet battles. September 12th, we have light side. September 19th, we have mod battles. And then on September 26th, we have dark side battles. And
So what is that? Every Saturday for the next 5 weeks?
Basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds right.
I ran the maths in my head, not out loud, so no one would know if I got it wrong. And then I came across that idea. So there we go.
So one thing I do like is it's not just normal nodes. It appears to be hard nodes as well.
Yeah. It looks like all the battle nodes. So you can go for gear and you can go for character shards.
I'm going to bet dollars to donuts, and that's saying something. I'm really going on a limb here, but I think there's a decent chance Mon Mothma and 3PO or Chipio or Chew 3 or whatever you want to call them will be available by September 12th.
Well, they didn't release at the same time, did they? They were like 2 weeks apart or a week apart.
I don't know.
Yeah, so they're not going to drop in the same update, but
I'm
I wouldn't
not
think.
SigSig.
So I just hope Mon Mothma is on the light side node if she's a hard node, because
I agree.
if they drop her on dark side and we miss that for the light side hard nodes, that will stink.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. So make sure you prepare for this. Take advantage. Stock up on energy the day before. Do all your 50s, all your 100 crystal refreshes, and stock up and do some work. Take advantage of these double drops. So I had somebody ask, I think it was Kvothe that asked in our Discord, what is the more effective thing to farm when we get to double drops? Would you be better off going for Kairos or Gear 13 finishers? And I'm going to have to say Kairos. Primarily the reason being 100 of them are used in every finisher versus 50 finishers. And not to mention they are used in other places. Plus they have the same drop rate. And, there are some other ways to get some of these finishers. I know you can get Kairos from other places, but it seems to me like there's a little bit more of a high demand of Kairos than there are finishers. So that would be my suggestion. But you do whatever the hell you want, man.
you do you.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
Indeed.
All right.
All right.
Well, the calendar also released, and with it came IG88 is the September daily login character. Normally we would look into that.
We haven't
but,
used the calendar drop in a while.
It's because the calendar has been once they moved all the legendary events to the journey guide, the calendar has been kind of boring. You can pretty much guess what's going to be on it every month.
It's disappointing.
Yeah, it is. But IG88's the daily login character for September. I wouldn't read too much into that. Who was it this month? Stormtrooper Han? I don't even remember. That's how little not important it was. Actually. But they haven't really meant anything lately anyway. And for everyone that was like, IG88 being the login, that might mean something with Mando. IG88 wasn't in Mando, so don't see it. IG11 was in Mando. If you wanted to draw the correlation, they're correlating those two characters, then maybe, but that seems like a weird jump to make.
Yeah.
The only connection there is that Grief and Mando are also bounty hunters, and so is IG88. So that might be your correlation, but I don't think we're gonna. With the Galactic Legend announcement, I don't see us getting any Mando info this month. If we did it, that would be amazing, because that would be a lot of communication about things in a small time frame, but I don't see that happening.
Right.
As well, the other thing with the calendar, which is what I was alluding to earlier with you, there is no, and I don't know why people thought there would be, JKL is not on the calendar, was not added to the journey page, so no announcement yet of when you can do the Jedi Knight Luke event. But just to ease some minds here, they never announced the second wave of a legendary event in the calendar. So that does not mean it's not coming in September.
That's true.
So look at the calendar like we used to. I don't know if that still works in today's calendar, but we used to look in the calendar for blank spots for events. With the introduction of the journey guide, I don't know that matters anymore, but that's one way we used to at least look at to see where a legendary might be coming back.
I would be shocked if he's not coming back sometime soon. I mean, it's gotta be soon, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being hopeful because I am very antsy for him to come back because I am stocked up on gear. I am 100% ready.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah. So I could be on an island there.
We'll see. Yeah, some people that might be working toward it might just might have just pivoted because the other older version of him has now been announced. So
that is true.
The only other thing of note from the update, Mon Mothma is in packs and shipments. So if you go by a normal marquee cadence, as pointed out in the chat, that means about 6 weeks for Mon Mothma to go farmable. So we'll see if that is actually the time frame, which would also mean that they would release the same time as Admiral Piet, because Admiral Piet has been announced as a requirement for Sith Eternal Emperor and because of that reason, they're pushing him out to free-to-play farmable a little quicker to be ready to be able to farm him in time for the Galactic Legends. So he's got a 6-week schedule, I think it is. Let me see here. Yeah, 3 weeks after release, he'll move to shipments, and then 3 weeks after that, he'll be farmable. So if you follow that logic, then 3PO, Mon Mothma, and Admiral Piet are probably all going to become farmable about the same time, which would actually make a lot of sense.
Cool.
So
It does.
now we can do one or two things here. We're about 34 minutes into the podcast now. We can do the kit reveal, or if you think we're going to talk a lot about Galactic Legends, we can just go into Galactic Legends. What do you feel like doing?
I think we should talk about the kit because I actually think it is kind of semi-important.
All right, so let's do that then.
Like, what are you even doing?
Yeah.
Do you even mod, bro? Like, come on.
Hashtag do you even mod, bro?
Oh my god, mind blown.
Classic.
It is a classic.
Is it playing again?
No, it just fades out over time.
Oh, okay.
I like the music.
Gotcha.
So I, made
I
it
was
where
like,
it just like keeps playing. I like it.
is stuff coming out?
Don't
of
judge
speakers
me.
Here? What's happening? All right, so we
Do
got the
not
kit
judge me,
here.
sir. All right.
Alright.
You want to read that kit or you want me to?
All right, I'll read it, and you pop those
Okay.
thoughts that you are running. The hamster's
I
on the
have
wheel, I see over there.
Many.
So-
Many.
I'll read through it, and you can interject. All right, so here we go. Admiral
Perfect.
Piet. A long time ago, we talked about, if you're not in the SWGOH events Discord, get a link.
You're doing it wrong.
I would say there's a link in our Discord. If there's not, I'll make sure to get one in there in the Discord link
I'll
area.
even throw one in the show notes for this episode.
Yeah, so you can get in there. But we talked about this maybe 3 weeks ago. There was a data mine of a new character model, and it was an Empire officer looking guy, and everyone had their ideas that it might be Piet. Turns out it is Admiral Piet, and here he is already in a marquee that
Crazy.
came out today. I haven't done it, so got to do that soon. How much time? I got 13 hours. I got to do that after this podcast before I forget. But yeah, so marquee event right now. He finally did release, and he actually looks pretty dang good. So
Yes, I agree.
Admiral Piet,
100%.
he is a dark side character, of course, being Empire. He's also got the tags of Dark Side Support Leader, Empire, and Imperial Trooper. It says he's an ambitious Imperial officer who supports his allies while plotting their demise. That's pretty dark,
Yes, for sure.
but it kind of fits. So we'll go right here into the basic. The basic is intensified firepower. Deal physical damage to target enemy and call another random Empire ally to assist. Allies with inevitable failure are called to assist. So it'll call people without, at least one person without inevitable failure to assist, but also call all allies with it, and that can be pretty nasty. That can become a mass assist basic, which is crazy.
Yes. Basically, yeah, that'll be really nice. If there's a way to kind of call him in, say for example, and obviously Imperial Troopers. So if you have Veers on his AOE,
You could like a double almost.
could be kind of nasty.
How many of the do any of the Imperial Troopers grant, what is the word? Turn meter on basic. I don't know the Imperial Trooper teams that great.
I don't believe they actually give turn meter technically on basic. Most of the turn meter comes from people dying and buffs.
Okay. Well, attacking a
Actually,
lot.
I think
will,
all
help
of it
that.
comes from killing people and buffs. But
I gotta ask about. Where is this guy? There he is, Magma. I thought his basic did. Oh no, he just double taps. Alright. Never mind. Alright, next up you have Special 1, Imperial Ambition. Cooldown 4. Final text. All allies gain offense up for 2 turns. Offense up on an Imperial team or an Empire team. That's gross. And Admiral Piet gains stealth for 2 turns. Inflict marked for 2 turns. And 3 stacks of inevitable failure on target other Empire ally until the end of battle or that ally is defeated. And remove inevitable failure from all other allies. These debuffs can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. So you cannot... It doesn't become a mass assist because you can only have this on one character at a time, it looks like. I haven't done... really should have done the marquee so I knew this, but I still have not. So.
Well, I did the marquee, but I am still, honestly, not 100% for sure. Because I'll never pay attention to marquees. But the...
Auto.
It's going to depend on if there is another way to get inevitable failure. But
if there is, this would get rid of it from everyone but the one you mark. So,
right.
These debuffs can't be copied, dispelled, or resisted. How do you not do the marquees? I do the marquees. I just have not done it yet. Inevitable failure. Gain 1 stack when using an ability or receiving damage from an enemy. When defeated, grant Admiral Piet the following bonuses based on the defeated unit's stats until the end of battles. 1 stack, 5% max health stacking. 10 stacks, 20% max health and max protection stacking. 15 stacks, 50% max health, max protection, and offense stacking. And at 20 stacks, 100% max health and max protection, plus 300% offense and 25% speed stacking. 20 stacks is pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Those are, and how much does he give per one? 3 stacks, so he'd have to use that ability a few times there.
Yeah.
To get to that 20. Unless there's another way to add it. We haven't been through this whole thing yet, but...
That is true. We have not.
Drew, they have missed them before, Mission and Zalbar. That's the funny part, is that me and him both missed both of those ones. I don't know what was going on that time. The marquees.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Remember that?
I forgot about that. Yeah, that wasn't good. I think that those are the only marquees I've ever missed in this game.
Me too, but it's and that's what's confusing as to why we both did at that time, the same time.
And I don't think I was on vacation or anything either.
No.
So I don't know.
Because you guys didn't know who they are. Maybe.
Yeah.
All right, leader, Zealous Commander. Empire allies have 30% offense and potency. Light side enemies have minus 30% tenacity and minus 15 speed. When an ally with inevitable failure critically hits an enemy, they gain 1 stack of inevitable failure and defense up for 2 turns. So if he's in the leader slot, there's where you get even more stacks of inevitable failure. Not to mention the fact that his basic calls in the people with inevitable failure, so that's even more chances for them to crit and get more stacks of that inevitable failure. So that's where that pulls out, so you don't have to use that first special a large amount of times to get that 20 stack. Unique 1, Zeta, the Emperor's Trap. Admiral Piet has plus 60% counter chance. Piet gains 5% turn meter whenever another Empire ally takes damage. Whenever an Empire ally begins a turn or attacks out of turn, all Empire allies gain a stack of the Emperor's Trap until the start of the next enemy turn, non-Empire allies' turn, or the end of battle. The Emperor's Trap can't be copied, dispelled, or prevented. If Darth Vader is an ally, Darth Vader and Admiral Piet have 20% accuracy, potency, and tenacity. Emperor's Trap, plus 6% offense and potency per stack. There's a Zeta on that one. I'm not sure which part is the Zeta, but it might be the Darth Vader ally part.
I am not sure.
Actually, I can find that out fairly easily.
Oh yeah, go look in game. Not a terrible idea. So
what
could
were
be the
those
turn
thoughts
meter.
you had there?
So this character has so many options Um, this to me is like Sith Trooper's kit. It is incredibly versatile. It can be used in just so many different places.
Mhm.
I love the Darth Vader synergy because Vader definitely needs more potency. Very useful. Gains 5% turn meter with another Empire ally takes damage. I mean, you AoE a full Empire team, he gets 25% turn meter. It's pretty damn crazy. So you can use him as basically a range trooper replacement and make your Imperial Troopers just that much more nasty. The inevitable failure ability, throwing it on a character, which of course will make him that much, make him more survivable, and the fact that he offers offense up is fantastic. Because that's one of the big deals with range troopers, the offense up. I think it's offense up and protection up that he offers. So he could take that place. And I love range troopers, awesome, but this is a far better kit. The other thing that I really liked was the excuse me, the AoE days. So on his second special, the fact that he can do an AoE days is a huge benefit to Imperial Troopers. Imperial Troopers are actually pretty good in some of these assault battles. They're pretty good in territory battle. They're great in a lot of areas, but an AoE days to where you can just plow people with Imperial Troopers and you can't do anything about it. Sure, you could damn near get rid of Death Trooper and move him to another team if you wanted to, and put him in place just because that AoE days is, Lord have mercy, damn yawns. That AoE days is almost going to kind of work similarly to the cooldown increase AoE that Death Trooper has. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but with teams that you would generally fight with Imperial Troopers, it kind of does work the same, actually. But then also, if it defeats an enemy, you inflict fear on all enemies for a turn. Like, that's kind of badass. This is the first time that anyone besides Sith Empire has been given the fear ability, which completely stops people in their tracks. This would allow you to build. I mean, you can build either an Imperial Trooper team or a Darth Vader based, Emperor Palpatine based, either
read
one.
That ability. I think I skipped over his second special.
Did you?
I did. I did not read that ability.
Okay. Orbital Strike, 5-turn cooldown. Dispel all buffs on all light side enemies. Deal physical damage to all enemies. Inflict daze for 2 turns. Allies with inevitable failure gain 2 stacks. If this attack defeats an enemy, inflict fear on all enemies for 1 turn. And allies with inevitable failure gains 5 stacks. Fear cannot be copied, dispelled, or resisted. So it's a lock debuff, just like it normally is.
Yeah, that's skipping that is a massive miss on my part because that is such a ridiculous ability.
Yes, absolutely. It is freaking phenomenal.
I gotta go back to SWGOH.gg because I'm curious what the base damage on that AoE is. Not that it matters a ton, but
yeah,
if that ability is killing on like fairly easy and fearing everyone, that's pretty crazy. Not to mention the days attached to it. That's freaking crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So if you, I mean, if you have fear, which of course is predicated on defeating an enemy. So you can kind of pair this with Darth Vader, for example, with his merciless assault. I think that's what it's called. Anyway, you know, if you can get somebody close to death and then come in and use this AoE, you know, you're gonna be in a pretty good spot for killing somebody, landing fear on everyone, and then getting Darth Vader another turn pretty easy because the other team just simply can't go. His leader ability, it's fine. It's okay, but I don't really care.
Is it better than
Palpatine.
Veers?
I'd rather have.
Because with Veers,
No.
the best part about Veers, in my opinion, as far as troopers go, is that what makes his unique is the big thing for him with the troopers, not the leader ability.
That's true, but his here, I'll go ahead and I'll look up his leader ability real quick. Veer's leader ability is actually really freaking good. So it is.
It's turn meter, 10% turn meter whenever they gain a buff. That's probably the best part of it.
30% offense. Imperial Troopers gain 20 speed and gain 15% turn meter whenever they gain a buff.
15.
So did I say 15?
Yeah.
20 speed and 10% turn meter.
Okay.
Sorry.
I was like, what? Am I reading something wrong?
Yeah, I think I'd rather have that than. Although, well,
I mean, you're taking 15 away from the enemy with Piett, as long as they're lights.
Here's the problem: is you are taking away 15 speed,
and you're getting the offense plus potency.
But you get the offense anyway with Veers. So this leader ability has the advantage of potency, the negative tenacity and speed against light side enemies, but that really cuts down on the number of teams you can beat. Versus the other one that has plus 20 speed
against everyone,
and the 10% turn meter gain, which is actually ends up being pretty nice whenever you have, you know, buffs like from range trooper, but range trooper you wouldn't use in this example, so throw him out. So that does become not as good.
Playing just because it's not as good doesn't mean you can't play the swap around.
No, that's 100% true.
So if they're light side, it might be better to put Piett in there, and if you know their dark side, maybe it's always better to have
totally
Veers.
Possible.
You know, if you just switch them around, if you're planning to use them on the same team anyway all the time, switching those leader abilities depending on who you're facing can be a pretty tactical move there.
Right. And here's the problem with inevitable failure doesn't actually do anything unless that character dies.
Yeah.
That's the only time it does anything. So gaining the stack of inevitable failure and defense up, I mean, this kind of leads to this is probably a good defensive usage rather than offensive usage because there is that advantage of characters dying. But I mean,
yeah, supercharge your Piett on defense. At the very least, if Piett ends up taking everybody out, that's one defense because you won't have those stats the next battle. But if you can get them out, if you can get to 2 defenses just because they couldn't take Piett after inevitable failure goes off on a defense where he's got put it on several people with the large stacks, yeah, that would be nuts.
So here's something else that I love, especially with Imperial Troopers. This is his unique ability. Whenever an Empire ally begins a turn or attacks out of turn, which Veers makes Imperial Troopers do a lot, all Empire allies gain a stack of the Emperor's Trap until the start of the next enemy turn. Okay, next enemy turn is really important because they gain so much turn meter, it becomes incredibly difficult for anyone to go. When you kill someone, was it like 60% turn meter gaining? That could be wrong. It could be more than that. 60, it might be 80. I think it's 80. You're getting a shit ton of turn meter. So no one else will be going before you. Or non-Empire allies turn. So you want all Empire, and you want the enemy to not take a turn. And for each time this happens, you gain a stack of the Emperor's Trap, which is plus 6% offense and potency per stack. So, I mean, you get a couple stacks, then you're talking 12, 18 extra offense on top. 12 to 18% offense on top of the 30% you're already getting off the leader. I mean, whew, I love it. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, he looks like he's going to be really fun. Not even just for Imperial Troopers, but with Vader. Yeah, they've been releasing some really cool kits. The last 3 have just been crazy good.
Well, and the other great thing about this is it is pretty versatile, like we're just talking about. You use them with Imperial Troopers, you use them with Vader. You have that option.
I think I think your Sith Trooper comparison works perfectly, because Sith Trooper can drop in a First Order Sith and be very versatile in that way. And you can do the same almost. Granted, all the people he works with are under the Empire tag, but there are 2 different tags under the Empire that he works well with, so that is definitely a major plus for him, I think.
I agree.
Stretching? Have we hit the 7th inning stretch?
No, I wasn't stretching. My sticky deal under my desk that holds lights up that kind of fell down.
Oh, I see.
It was bothering me.
All right.
Man, member of Beagle Squadron's having a rough night. The eldest member, she's been like hacking up a lung constantly, and she keeps coughing and coughing.
Yeah, my dog. We are having similar problems with our dog. Not fun.
No.
So.
No, very sad. All right, so I kind of think I
think we've covered pretty much everything. Piett.
There was one developer insight thing that I thought was actually pretty cool. So he got a field promotion from captain to admiral, and that was what gave him the idea to make an Imperial Admiral rank badge as his relic. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet, the way that they described the thought process behind that character, because it is nice to know where some of these relics come from, because sometimes you'll look at them and be like, oh, what?
Yeah.
Why? So.
Yep. That's true. All right, let's move along.
Let's go.
Hey boys, do you have any tips for us less experienced players?
So I got a very big tip here.
I'm sure you do.
Very big tip.
I guess I should have played the calendar, since I'll never get to play it. And let's be honest, time is ticking. We don't know when these guys are coming, but it's going to be not too long. They said this is going to be a little bit faster, a little bit quicker release than the last 2 Galactic Legends. Not going to be as much ramp up time. They're batching the requirements differently. We're only getting 3 batches rather than 4. So it's going to be a little bit quicker. There's also going to be shortened time in between each of those, as they stated. So I expect we'll probably see these by the end of September, honestly.
Yeah, I was thinking probably they want Piett farmable before they're released, and so Piet's not farmable for 6 weeks. So I'd say that 6-week mark, or maybe a week following that, somewhere in that time frame. I'd say like a month and a half from now, which wouldn't be September. It would be like mid-October probably, but that would be my guess. Since the first round of rewards requires a few characters that are all supposed to release free-to-play around the same time.
All right. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So
we got
let's
some
talk
quote-unquote lore that they've written for these characters. I wrote down here just to get the idea of the time frame of these characters, which ones they are, because I saw Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
This has been the big question.
And then I was like, okay, so we're getting the Return of the Jedi Luke, and then I saw Sith Eternal Emperor. I'm like, okay, so it's not from the original trilogy. That is, and then I saw the picture, so I immediately know which version it is.
I want to be clear. I called this.
Did
you?
The
Jedi Master Luke, I did.
Well, yeah, you said that he was going to be, the last version will be a GL.
Yeah, I said before too long we would have the Jedi Master Luke Skywalker as the Galactic Legend, as the final version of Luke, because everybody was upset about the fact that Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker wasn't a Galactic Legend, and well, here he is.
Yeah, because where could you go from? They would either have to not introduce the new trilogy Luke, or he would be lower than the last one, or they'd have two Galactic Legend Lukes. So it makes sense that the last version of him is the most powerful version of himself throughout the whole trilogy anyway. So
it definitely came a little bit quicker than I expected, though.
Yeah, maybe just a little. The last thing, so here's they wrote down for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker started as a humble farm boy. Is that alluding to anything? Maybe. Dreaming of bigger things, and went on to become one of the most renowned Jedi to ever live. Rising to the rank of Jedi Master, Luke's strong connection with the Force enabled him to overcome seemingly impossible challenges. I like this part. Rising to the rank of Jedi Master, which he gave to himself.
Well, there's Force Ghost Yoda who could have gave it to him.
I mean, I guess we'll count that.
Perfect. All right, cool.
Second up is Sith Eternal Emperor Larry. Surrounded by mystery, the dark side has its own share of powerful Force users capable of incredible feats. Perhaps none are more feared than the Sith Eternal Emperor, whose mastery of the Force gave him access to abilities that some consider to be unnatural. Through years of deception after the Battle of Endor, this Dark Lord was secretly planning his return to power.
So, I want to go on the limb and say these two are going to have the same, not same, but basically the same ultimate abilities.
Both sides.
In a way. So, Sith Emperor Palpatine, Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine, whatever the hell you want to call Seep.
Larry.
His ultimate will most certainly be the fact that he becomes unkillable and you have to kill everyone else before you can kill him. But he's going to have some very nasty buffs that he gains, making it...
Here's, going off what you said earlier to me in Discord, I bet he becomes unkillable and he like puts his hands in the sky or something and lightning comes out, and every person's turn, it deals lightning to them at the beginning of their turn and for big damage or something.
I like it.
Because of the, from the scene from the movie, obviously, where he just turns everything off. Just force lightning hands.
Yep. I forgot that was my original prediction. And I do think that makes more sense than what I thought of tonight. But for Luke, it's gotta be like a force summon of some sort of taunt character or something to where he basically becomes unkillable, or there's going to be some sort of evasion mechanic in there. He could have leader ability that just has like 50% evasion. Like, accuracy arrows are basically worthless in this game. He could be the reason that they actually become useful. What do you think about that?
Say it again. I got distracted by words
Unbelievable.
on a screen. Which
Um,
faction are you talking about that might make them great?
I'm talking about accuracy mods actually becoming decent with Jedi Master Luke Skywalker having an evasion ability. Very high evasion ability.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be a thing. I mean, if that's something that they wanted, they certainly have to. They need to make a way to make it important, and that is, that is honestly something that would make him unique compared to other characters. Is the fact that to beat him, you would have to have accuracy.
Yep.
That is not something that you actually need
required
for other characters.
Yep.
That would be very annoying,
God, that would be.
and I actually think that would be very cool. Only because of the annoyance factor and the fact that it's never been done.
So, are you going for either one of these characters?
I haven't made my final decision because of the fact that.
Who are you leaning towards?
Well, I would much rather have Jedi Master Luke Skywalker than Sith Eternal Empire Earl. So that's who I'm going for. If either one of them. Not to mention the team that I wanted to do in my non-Galactic Legend time finally that I got, which suddenly was changed with a new set of Galactic Legends, was the Rebel Fighters. So I'm gearing Mon Mothma now, which is a requirement for Luke. So while I'm still gearing her, I still have time to make my final decision whether I'm going to finish the Rebel Fighters before I go for this or just go straight into it. But I will be going for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker first.
Okay, I like it. I am going for Luke as well, primarily because I have Kylo. I want another character who's good in light side territory battle. I want light side and dark side, so I'm going Jedi Master Luke. I think I've pretty much 100% decided, so I think I'm about to start gearing the Rex there. All right, so we have 4 Galactic Legends from New Trilogy so far. Kind of crazy. I did not think that would have been the plan, but here we are.
Nope, I agree. That's kind of crazy. Was surprising.
15 total units to unlock each of them. In the game, it looks like there is 14. On one, I'm not sure which one it is, and then the other looks like it shows 15, but there'll actually be 15 on both.
I'm glad they nipped that in the bud right now, because if they didn't wait, they waited until they actually released the requirements, and everyone was like, "I've thought for 4 weeks that it was 14. Now there's a 15th one." It's smart of them to come out today and make sure everyone knew. There's a discrepancy. It's 15. You need to know that.
Because that might swing some people from one to the other. Not having to do one more character would be nice.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so we did get confirmed today that no other Galactic Legends will be required. That is 100% confirmed. Thank God.
When we were talking about this the day they announced these, this is what I mentioned in chat, and that was because of the fact that they had said before that with Galactic Legends, they wanted you to be able to choose any of all of them that were released to go after who you wanted. And if you required a Galactic Legend for a Galactic Legend, you create a ladder and you don't get that choice. So I didn't ever assume that you would need a Galactic Legend, but I know there were a lot of people that thought that might be something that happens. And I could understand that thinking in a way just because of the fact that both these characters are new trilogy, just like the last two were. So I don't blame people for thinking that, but I just, with what they've said about Galactic Legends, it just didn't seem feasible.
Yep, for sure.
We got the first round of requirements. Hey,
we did.
There's only 3 rounds, so we're 1/3 of the way to knowing what we got to do to get these characters.
That is true.
Who knows when we'll get the next ones, but this gives you a clear and present target right now if you're in the early development here.
So we're going to talk about the requirements that we do have, and then we are going to predict what we think the next 10 requirements will actually be. This is going to be fun. I'm kind of excited. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Jedi Master Luke Skywalker. It looks like these relic levels are a little bit higher than on the previous Galactic Legends. Mon Mothma at Relic 5, 3PO and Chewie at Relic 5, Obi-Wan Kenobi, aka Old Ben, at Relic 5, Rey Jedi Training Relic 7, and C-3PO at Relic 5. What do you think about these?
I think you're going to see a good chunk of Relic 3s and 4s on the next sets of Luke Skywalker. Yeah, absolutely. Because if you look at the dark side version, it's kind of... Well, I mean, I guess it's not totally lopsided because they require 2 Relic 7s on that side. So maybe not. I didn't think about the fact that there's 2 Relic 7s on the other side. But as far as characters go, all 3 of them are good. So that's nice.
Mm-hmm. That is... Yeah, I don't have any
that
issue
makes the
with
decision to
carrying
go
any
for
of
those 5
characters.
a little easier.
100%.
Especially if you go towards the next ones and seeing what they are.
And then for Seep, as we now call him, the requirements are Admiral Piet at Relic 5, Royal Guard at Relic 3, Darth Vader, Relic 7, Emperor Palpatine, Relic 7, and Director Krennic at Relic 4. So, Piet will be released on an abbreviated schedule to make the farming release basically in time. He'll be moved to shipments 3 weeks after release and then moved to a farmable node 3 weeks after appearing in shipments. As you mentioned, 6 weeks farmable after release. So, I think that's probably not a bad idea to assume that'd be about when these become available. I don't know. I still kind of think it's gonna be in September, but do you have an issue with any of these requirements that we know of so far?
Problems? No, because they make sense with everything that CG usually does. Krennic? What? This is where things start getting weird for me.
Why?
Why?
I actually like Krennic being a... I mean,
okay.
He was the Death Star designer. What is more...
Thematically,
died on...
Let's think thematically here.
Yeah.
Think about the other characters, right? You had Rey and Kylo was all the First Order characters, basically. And then, some opposite side. One opposite side. I know Kylo needed Han. Was there any opposite sides for the Rey? Or was it just Chewbacca and Han, one of each for each of the Galactic Legends? I don't think you needed any dark side for Rey, did you?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so that makes sense. This is where my requirements start coming into thought for this this event, because none of these characters on Palpatine's side are from the new trilogy.
Okay. But...
And only 1 or 2 on the other side are. 3 on the other side.
We'll talk about this here shortly, but I don't really have an issue with that. I mean,
I don't have an issue with it. It just makes me think about what's going to be required and what kind of tags they're going to have.
Rey Jedi Training is the only one for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker that's from the new movies.
3PO and Chewie. I guess that character itself is from the original trilogy, but both of them were in the new movies. C-3PO was in the new movies. RJT was in the new movies.
Yeah, but
there's no but. C-3PO has resistance synergy. He's listed as a new movie character.
No, I know, but so does R2. They have massive, wide, just like I think that's kind of different because that character is literally meant to span the entire Star Wars universe. So,
my point is that Piett, Royal Guard, Darth Vader, and Krennic were not in the new trilogy at all. Even if the character model was from a different movie. But if you look at that side, 3 out of the 5 characters, maybe not the model, we're all in the new trilogy.
Right. Okay. So where
One
does
thing
this
I
lead
wanted
us?
to point out as well, we didn't mention, or maybe you did. Rey, RJT required at Relic 7. If you went after Rey, you already have that requirement. Also, Palpatine, Relic 7 for the Sith Eternal Emperor. Also, Relic 7 was a requirement for Kylo. So if you decide to go for the same faction and you already have one or the other, you're already finished with one of the requirements.
That is
Someone
100%
mentioned
true.
there's some back and forth in chat about whether 3PO was needed for Rey. Someone thought they were, and then the other person thought it was just for JKL. So I'm looking right now, and no, C-3PO wasn't needed for Rey, so he was not.
Right.
If you have him relict and ready, it's probably for Jedi Knight Luke.
Yep. I like it.
So, that's also
all right,
helpful for
so-
those people that don't have Jedi Knight Luke. Because if you decide to go for Jedi Master Luke, one of the characters you're gearing already for that character will help you get Jedi Knight Luke.
That leads us into talking about Jedi Master Luke Skywalker predictions. So we each predicted 10 characters that 10 more characters, units, whatever that we think are going to be required for each of these characters. I am fully convinced, 100%. I'll say 99 so I can hedge. I'm a hedger. Leave me alone. Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker will be a requirement for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker.
And I am 100% true or believe that you are out of your mind with that.
Okay.
And that is a very that's not even like hard to explain. All the requirements already for Luke Skywalker are harder to get for in-game players than Sith Eternal Emperor. Throw on top of that JKL, now they're infinitely harder than Emperor Palpatine. Then on top of that, I don't even know who you would add to Palpatine to make it even close of an even
Why does it have to
trade.
be even?
Because
It's
they all
Jedi-
are even.
It's
They've all
freaking
been
Luke.
even.
Everybody wants Luke.
I don't believe
Let
it.
his
There's
requirements be a little bit stiffer.
There is no chance the legendary that still hasn't even had a second event is going to be required for the Galactic Legend.
I think it will be.
And we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure you're wrong on that.
All right, we will see. So that is my big prediction, is that Jedi Knight Luke will be a requirement for Jedi Master Luke. It falls in line with the typical progression of this game, that the prior characters are required to get that version of that character. So
was Farm Boy Luke needed for Jedi Knight Luke?
For Commander Luke, he was.
Right, but was he needed for Jedi Luke?
Yes, because Commander Luke was needed for Jedi Luke, and you had to get Farm Boy to get Jedi. Or
I'm
to
talking
get
hard
Commander Luke.
requirement here.
No, but when it came out, it was a hard requirement. I mean, so, I guess it depends on what you consider a hard requirement. But I mean, essentially, yeah, you cannot get Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker without Farm Boy Luke.
Yeah,
Not to mention, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren, as you know, does require Kylo Ren Unmasked and Kylo Ren both as requirements.
both not legendary events that released 3 months ago. They've been out for a long time before Galactic Legend
true.
Kylo Ren came
Yeah,
out.
I don't disagree. I mean, RJT's also.
I think the
was
main
also
point here
required
is
for
there's
Rey.
nothing they could add to the dark side that would make these even close to even.
No,
And I am
totally
100%
agree.
positive
100%.
I want both
I agree
sides to
with
be
you there.
even.
I don't think they have to be even.
I think they.
I would not be surprised if they let Jedi Knight Luke be the lopsided factor here, just because Luke is arguably the most popular character in Star Wars, arguably the most wanted character in Star Wars. So,
All right, so
I would
you
not be
need,
surprised if the best.
How many
version of
requirements for JKL?
him- how many requirements were there?
How many people were
8.
required for Jedi Knight Luke?
8, I think.
All right, so the requirements for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker just went up to 23 because the event's only been out 3 months. Yeah, that ain't happening. It's not happening.
Okay. All right, that's fine. We'll see. You better mark my words. If this happens, I will gloat like you would not believe.
You gloat anyway. You don't even need reminded. You'll do it anyway if it happens. But I don't think it will, so I'm not worried about it.
That is true. All right, we'll see. So, I do. That's the one big thing that I think is going to happen. You disagree. All right, so.
I mean, look at your dark side list. It's nothing like the light side list if you add JKL.
Yeah, no.
There's not a character on there that is hard to get from your dark side list.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So literally everyone in the world will pick Emperor Palpatine.
Except for the people that want Luke. That's my entire point. I don't think they have to be perfectly equal. So Kylo and RJT aren't equal either. I mean, RJT requires more legendary characters than Kylo.
And we already went over this in our conversation. Legendary characters that came out 2 years ago don't count the same as a character that came out 3 months ago that hardly anyone has. A legendary that came out 2 years ago is not a legendary to me anymore because I had it forever. I don't have to work on it, and I probably have it already geared. It's not the same as a requirement for an in-game character. Because if you don't have a legendary character that came out 3 years ago as an in-game player today that has been playing since the game came out, then I don't know what you're doing.
Okay.
That is not a hard requirement to have if you've been playing since the game came out.
I didn't say it was a hard requirement.
Yes, you did. You said that's how. Well, it was harder for this one. No, it wasn't. If you're a player that's played,
that is not what I did not say it was harder. I said
play it
RJT
back, somebody.
Required. I said no. I'll tell you exactly what I said. RJT has 2 legendary characters requirements. Supreme Leader Kylo Ren only has 1. That is exactly what I said, which is factually accurate.
Not the wording you used, but okay.
Okay.
It is factually accurate, and I agree with that, but not the way you said it.
Okay. Rewind the tape. Anyway, so moving along to the rest of the requirements that we are predicting, we have some overlap here. I kind of went along with characters that are mostly pretty easy to get that people probably already have because I think that Jedi Knight Luke is going to be a requirement. So my predictions here are Luke, as I mentioned, Princess Leia, Stormtrooper Han, Lobot, Grandmaster Yoda, R2-D2, Admiral Akbar, Farm Boy Luke, Wedge, and Biggs. However, I've kind of talked myself out of the Farm Boy thing. I'm just not sure who to replace it with. Although, I guess it is a relic requirement, so I ain't gonna change it. I'll leave it there. Who do you have as requirements?
So I'm of the mind a character from the new trilogy isn't going to be completely old trilogy character requirements.
Okay.
So at the bottom, I just put 4 resistance characters possibly. So out of 15, I'd say 4 are probably going to be resistance. Now, does that make it easier? It might, but the thing is, not everyone has both GLs. So for someone like me and you who went after Kylo Ren, we still have 4 people we need to relic because they're not 100%. Relic for us. For other people, it might be an easier time, might influence who you want to go after. But having 4 resistance characters makes sense to me because it's Luke. If we're going to go off of his lifespan and the people that he knew, there were resistance in that time period. So I'm going to say 4 resistance, but I'm also going to go with characters that were important to him. I'm saying Farm Boy Luke, Commander Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, Admiral Akbar, Han Solo or Stormtrooper Han. I assume Stormtrooper Han because less people have him geared. Princess Leia Also one that not a ton of people have geared. And that's another reason
Mhm.
with what you said, you're like, characters people have, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense, but it's also characters that people probably don't have geared.
Totally true. Yes, 100%.
So the only one I'm shaky on there is Admiral Akbar, but I don't know who to replace him with. I also had Lobot on the list before I remembered Princess Leia, so I took Lobot off the list.
Okay.
And the only reason Lando's not on the list is because Lando is already required for Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, and most of these characters are required for either old legendaries or aren't required for anything yet.
Yeah.
Now,
I like the regular Han Solo call. I think that's a really good one.
is Chewbacca's not needed for anyone, is he? Or is he
Ooh,
needed
that's
for
another good
Jedi
one. No.
Knight Luke?
I don't think he's needed for anyone.
So
actually.
So it might be Stormtrooper Han and then regular Chewbacca in Admiral Akbar's spot. That way you not have
Right.
a raid and a legendary character. Or if they wanted to go that way, since they're both old characters and in-game players should have them, they might just go Han Solo and Chewbacca. But
Right.
yeah, those are the characters that make sense to me.
Did I not say Wedge and Biggs because I have them on my list? Chickenbottom says I didn't. I may have got detoured after Farm Boy.
I think you stopped
I do
after
have-
Farm Boy.
Oh, okay. I do have Wedge and Biggs on my list. I think that they will also be required. I think they're easy to get characters. I think the requirements for Jedi Master Luke are going to be kind of soft in a way, because of the Jedi Knight Luke requirement. And what four Resistance characters do you think that are most likely to be?
If I had to guess, I'd probably say the ones that I don't have 7-star yet, like Resistance Han or not Resistance Han, Resistance Bro, Finn and Poe.
Okay.
RJT is already required, so it might only be 3, because I'd say, who was the other one that I was thinking of? I think I might have just been thinking of Rey, and she's already on there.
BB-8, I think, would be essential because he helped RJT find Luke in the beginning. I don't know. I mean, if you're going to throw, overlap in there, I think BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8 might be
one.
BB-8 and some form of Finn and Poe are what I would think at least 3 Resistance characters that they would add, because I think I put 4 because of the Trinity there of Finn, Poe, and Rey, and then BB-8. But I forgot that RJT was already needed, so it probably would go
Gotcha.
down to 3 Resistance.
Okay.
Then I would think General Leia. Yeah, let's just throw another character that's not released to make it even harder.
Would
That
it
ain't
surprise you?
happening. Yes, it would. Because he'd have to be released now, like General Piet.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I kind of think we have all the characters that we're going to need for it. All right, so let's move along to Sith, to Seep, as we now call him, Sith Eternal Emperor Palpatine. I have Darth Maul. Check this one out. Mace Windu, Tarkin, Thrawn, Sith Trooper, Count Dooku, Darth Sidious. This one's a little I don't really like this one, but I just have a feeling. IPD, Imperial Probe Droid, and Veers. That's only 9. I gotta put crew on there too. More overlap. That'll be my 10th.
All right. I didn't really even think about the Sith. I went more Empire, and I'm the only reason I did this.
Interesting.
So, going back to, and this is okay. I'm not composing my thoughts here very well. I went one faction and Resistance for my requirements for Jedi Master Luke Skywalker for one reason, and that is thinking about what tags these Galactic Legends are going to get. And if you start adding requirements, so with Rey and Kylo Ren, most every character that you geared for those Galactic Legends could be used in a synergistic faction way with that Galactic Legend. The one outlier being Han for Supreme Leader Kylo Ren.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really do any Sith. I did mostly Empire because of the requirements already having mostly Empire. I don't see any Sith on the requirement list
I like it.
So I went with mostly Empire officers. Grand Moff Tarkin, Thrawn, Colonel Stark, General Veers. You put those 4 together. You already got Admiral Piet. That's 5 officers. I do like your idea, so I added it to the end because I agree with you. Darth Sidious is another good one because if Darth Sidious and
he's one I feel very solid about.
Well, like with my requirements, I have Commander Luke
requirement.
Skywalker and Farm Boy Luke. That's 2 Lukes. With yours, you have JKL and Farm Boy. That's 2 Lukes. So it makes sense on the other side to have Emperor Palpatine, which has already been announced as a requirement, and then also having Sidious, so 2 versions of Palpatine.
Yep.
I also put in Gar Saxon because of the fact that he is also a Empire officer. You already also have, I didn't even mention this one, but Director Krennic, which is another Empire officer.
Yep.
I put Imperial Super Commando only because he's a character that is not required for anything else. If you're gearing up Gar Saxon, having Imperial Super Commander is helpful. Not to mention, not a lot of people have him geared, so that is something that they like to do. So I have that as well. And then I put down some First Order to go with it, like Hux. Hux really never talked to Palpatine. Kylo Ren for sure.
Yep.
Sith
Sith
Trooper. Yes, Sith Trooper.
Yeah.
I wrote it right there. Sith Trooper is one of them for sure because of the
Him and-
fact that the Sith Troopers didn't come to the First Order / Final Order until the Palpatine movie. So I feel strongly that Sith
Yep.
Trooper is going to be a requirement if we're crossing into the First Order / merging with this version of Palpatine. So Sith Trooper,
Sith Trooper,
Kylo, crew, not
regular Kylo.
no.
I feel like Thrawn, Sith Trooper, and Darth Sidious are absolute locks. Like, there's no way those 3 are not requirements here.
Well, no
I
doubt. If you
don't
think
see it.
JKL is on that list and you put stock into old legendaries, you better hope Thrawn's on there.
Yeah. He was. Yeah. If you've read the books, he is super close to the Emperor.
So,
Hey, speaking of which.
but yeah, I really think it's a lot of Empire people and some First Order. And then for Luke, it'll be a lot of Rebels and then some Resistance.
Yep.
Which makes this next question very probably divisive to the entire community at large and probably something that people should brace for.
For sure.
What tags will they have?
I think this is very simple.
I don't know about a Jedi tag. I'm just going to throw it out there again. I don't know about a Jedi tag for him.
Has to.
You think he has to?
He has
People
to.
said the same thing about
He
JKL.
absolute has to.
I don't think
Because he came back. He's Jedi Master Luke. He is a Jedi Master. If he is a Jedi Master, he is a bloody Jedi.
If he is a Jedi Master and his
riot.
synergy is Jedi, then you just upgraded a bunch of rebels that won't be used with him. And then the other part to that is I don't think he's going to have the rebel tag either because there's no rebels in this version of Luke. So
he won't have the rebel tag. That I agree with.
This is going to be completely different than the last set of GLs because I don't. If we're set on that Jedi tag, all these characters you leveled up are only going to fit under JKL. So that might
Yeah,
be
but
your strongest case for JKL as a requirement.
Well, hold on, but keep in mind the way that these leader abilities on these Galactic Legends have been. They are light side and dark side based. It's a lot of the, I mean, they have some additional stuff for their own faction, but you can really run anyone under these characters. They have pretty significant bonuses for just being that side of the faction.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have Jedi Master Luke be light side and a Jedi, and that's it. And you could build a badass team with just about anything, probably, because he's going to have pretty good synergy with other characters. And they could also make it block out some of the synergy with, you know, like the old Republic Jedi, kind of like they did with Jedi Knight Luke, just to kind of keep things kind of in check, and then that would kind of force you into maybe using some rebels.
It's just interesting. So the question then, and I don't see this ever happening, is are any Jedi going to be on the list besides maybe Hoda?
Well, this was the reason why I put Grand Master Yoda, because I almost feel like Jedi kind of have to be on there. Like there's got to be some sort of Jedi something. And so there will 100% be a Yoda requirement. But if Jedi Knight Luke is a requirement, Hermit Yoda is already built in, leaving Grandmaster Yoda as a separate requirement because he's not a requirement for anything else. So that's the reason I put Grandmaster Yoda. You know, I kind of have a prequel character for each of them on here. You know, Mace Windu on Sith Emperor Palpatine, or Sith Eternal Emperor, whatever the hell he is, and then Grandmaster Yoda on Jedi Master Luke Skywalker, because they both played vital parts into them becoming who they are.
If it's Yoda, I think it's Hoda. He never knew Grandmaster version of Luke. I see your thought process, but I don't see that being.
Yeah, but Grandmaster Yoda was an absolute key. I mean, a massive key to Jedi Master Luke existing. I mean,
well, so is Hoda.
Well,
I see Hoda.
No, I know, and that's what I'm saying. I think that's why I think they're both essentially going to be requirements. I just think because the one's already built into another character, I think is required. I could see them making Grandmaster Yoda. If Jedi Knight Luke is not a requirement, I do not think that Grandmaster Yoda will be a requirement. Let me be clear about that also. So,
yeah,
that is kind of how I feel about that. But
so, what about Palpatine? What tags? He's not First Order.
He'll be Sith. I don't think he'll be First Order.
I don't think he'll be Empire. And if you're leveling up all these Empire officers and such, or Empire characters, once again, it's not something that they are used with.
That's true.
It's just a weird conundrum. This is why I put the question on here, because it's if you think deeply about the tags that these Galactic Legends should have or would appear that they will have, the requirements are unrelated and won't work with the character as well as the synergy built into the kit would make them, which is the exact opposite of the other Galactic Legends.
I mean, I see your point. I kind of agree.
What do you disagree with?
I kind of think that I think that they'll have the tags that are literally in their name, and they will be a general type leader for that sided faction. I kind of think that's what they're doing here. And then you can use kind of any of these characters in there because they're all going to be freaking badass. You can take anyone in there, throw them in there, and going to be a beast. It's not really going to matter. Will there be a best team? Probably. But I also think they leave you a lot of options. So there's one other point that we haven't talked about either. Neither one of us put ships on here.
Yeah, I don't think they'll need ships. Because there's no capital.
Okay.
So
I agree. I mean, I don't
there
really
was a
have
thought that
much
people
else
put
to
out
add.
there that you might need the capitals that were used on the last Galactic Legends.
At
This time it's 7-star, and to that, if that is what happens, you can count me out. It's gonna take me forever to 7-star these capital ships.
100%. Yeah.
And unless you
I
are
think
buying
that
the
would be
refreshes like crazy or have paid for them, everybody else is in the same boat.
And here's the other thing is that actually puts these as like the second tier Galactic Legends. It wouldn't be a situation where you get to pick a Galactic
You're
Legend
back
and
to the
go
ladder
after it.
thing. Yeah.
Right. And I kind of think that's what they're trying to avoid.
Yep, I'm
For
with
the
you.
most part. Other than with Jedi Knight Luke Skywalker, obviously, but beside the point. So I think that's pretty much all we have this week, but I would like to mention we talked a lot about Thrawn. The new Thrawn book's coming out in September. I think it comes out Tuesday. So if you would like to get your hands on the new Thrawn book, which I am sure is going to be freaking fabulous, I highly suggest audibletrial.com/shatteredorder. Free 30-day trial Audible. It's fantastic. You can get free audiobook. You get to keep it. Check it out. Cancel within 30 days, and hey, you're not out anything, but it is an absolutely fantastic service. I am a huge, huge fan, so check that out. Man, I can't wait for that book. I'm pretty pumped.
I'm actually pretty excited that I got someone to check out the Phasma book this week. And if we're talking about Audible, if you want to check out, I've read the Phasma book, and I am currently I've not been driving anywhere because I'm not working on sabbatical, so my read time for the Galaxy's Edge book has gone drastically down, so I haven't finished it yet, but both of them are written by Delilah Dawson, both very good. That Phasma book was awesome, also on Audible, so if you are interested in a character from the new trilogy that to me was the new Boba Fett, and you want to actually see how badass that character is, despite them looking like hot garbo in the actual movies, check out that Phasma book. I've got at least one person this week to download it and check it out. So if anyone else checks it out and listens to it or actually gets the book and reads it, let me know what you thought, because I really like that book. But
Very
I'm
nice.
with
I
you,
like
man.
it.
Star Wars books are great. I know my buddy Elephant in the Room forever was a what do they call it now? The old books, the old canon. He was way into that stuff, and I can
Legends?
absolutely see why. Yeah, the legend stuff. Star Wars books are great. If you love Star Wars, you should really check them out.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I don't think we have any other announcements or anything. Other than just make sure you go check out all of our crap. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Mando's starting soon. We need to get on that. We've been slacking.
Can't wait. We got to get that. We got to get that new trilogy recap going that we were talking about.
And get that finished for sure. I
Yeah.
swear to God, I am going to watch that movie this weekend. Sunday. That's my plan. I'm going to wake up Sunday and I'm going to watch that movie.
All right, you let me know when you do, so then I will as well, and then we can talk about
Okay. Sounds good. I like it.
All right, awesome.
All right. Well, I think that's pretty much going to wrap up episode 211 of the Shadow Orb podcast. Appreciate you guys hanging out as always. Thank you. And make sure you join us next time on episode 212. We'll let you know in Discord if we're going to stream Grand Arena next week, but we will definitely be talking about whatever news comes out here in the next week or so.
No doubt. So to everybody out there that is watching the show live, we appreciate you, and everyone that's listening to this tomorrow, the next day, next week, whenever. You guys are awesome too. Without you, we wouldn't be doing this. We love to hear what you think about all of our ideas and theories. That's what keeps the Discord hopping all week. So we appreciate you. Thanks for listening. And please come back for episode 212 next week. Until then, we will catch you on the other side.
Later.